lovelies, my name is Queeneth and you're welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your first time here or you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Please support a sister by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Scroll all the way down, hit that red button that says subscribe and also the notification bell close to it. So that way you get notified whenever I upload new videos. If you watch this video through to the end and you like it, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. I mean, like the video. And also do not forget to share with your friends and family, especially those who have the intentions of study abroad. So in today's video, I would list few countries that gives a postgraduate or work visa opportunity. So in other words, when you go to that country to study, you don't get kicked out after you graduate. You can stay as much as you want as long as you meet the requirements. This I'm going to give you is in no particular order. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, she first scored this country, it means that after I'm better pass. Nope. That's not what it is. So the first country on my list will be the United States. Students who come to the United States to study get the postgraduate work visa after graduation for just 1 year. Depending on your course, I believe the sciences get up to 2 years. So now I'm not saying you should rush to go do the sciences. Do what you know you love and can excel. In most cases, you can transition from that 1 year postgraduate, which is called OPT, to HB1 visa. The HB1 visa is a work visa that allows you to stay in the country and work. It doesn't only allow you the opportunity to stay back in America and work, it's also a path to permanent residence. So let's take for instance, if you work for an employer and that employer assists you to apply for the HB1 visa. So you transition from the OPT to the HB1, and from that HB1 visa, it's easier for you to transition from HB1 into permanent resident. All of these things, it's still the employers that's going to help you do that. But then again, you have to excel in your field of study. You have to excel working for that employer. Some employers will ask that you stay with them up to 3 years after you might have gotten the HB1 or your permanent resident, which is also known as green card, like a contract. That HB1 visa is not always available to the employer, which means the employer might have the intention to assist you through that process, but it might not be available to them. If the employer doesn't have like long legs, they just can't. You're probably wondering why. This is a little tricky, okay? While your employers intend to help you get the HB1 from HB1 to green card, they have to prove that you're exception after our Oga at the top enter. Things spoil small, but you don't really spoil 100%. Now, they have to go extra mile by proving and say you are worth keeping on that job, that they didn't find any American citizen who could do the job like you. They could post the job on their website and do interviews and all of those kind of things. And then they'll come tell immigration, say, we post the job, but don't really get anybody who qualify as this young man because we don't already train them and all those kind of things. In most cases, I think when the employer is very nice, they go out of their way to just help you get them. If you two go with your A game, like you be a friendly person, nice personality and all of those kind of things. So one thing I do not want to leave out is the fact that when you come to the United States to study, you're not allowed to work off campus. I know that Nigerians have that hustling spirit. You want to work, so I go feel support yourself. Remember, you're allowed to work on campus for about 20 hours when school is in session, and then during holiday, you're allowed to work up to 40 hours since it's a holiday. So do not get food. Don't let people say, oh, I know one guy will be saying, you just work outside. So then check their system or their record. You don't already work the hammer from outside. You are ruining it off for yourself. If you don't already have like a work experience in Nigeria, I would say work on campus, something administrative, a job that can help you with communication, with certain little things that would at the end of the day help you in the broad sense when you go into the work environment. I don't know if that makes sense. This is applicable to any country at all. I'm not saying that any country you go to, they don't allow you to work off campus. Every country is not like that, but I'm just saying when you go to any country and you don't have prior experience from your home country, you start somewhere because we speak proper English, but when you come fresh out of Nigeria, you work for a place that is customer service driven and they will tell you to make an answer phone call. As a Nigerian, sometimes, those kind of time when you just come straight from Nigeria, it's not the same like Nigeria. They expect you to have certain kind of mannerism when you're making a call and stuff like that. So all those things, things where you go learn, like how to be bold enough or confident enough to pick up the phone, talk to a person, and the person can hear you clearly. All those things, now things you're supposed to consider, because when you graduate at the end of the day, you go still need to go for interview, you go still need to get job, and they go look all these things. So if you get all these kinds of small jobs on campus or small job anywhere else, that will allow you that opportunity to come out of that your shell coming fresh from Niger, it will help you a lot. We've all been through this process. At some point, yours truly. I don't even feel pick phone, talk to a person, say something, or how can I help you and stuff like that. It was nerve-wracking. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. So you would all experience it at some point, depending on whether or not, even if say you don't get experience for Nigeria to the talk for phone, talking for phone for Nigeria, nobody the same. Don't give them the impression, say, you just they come here, they come hustle, even though me and you know what he be. So that's how I will keep. And do not be a Sabinus. Use your head. And may nobody tell you, say, I've been doing now. Somebody who came to the United States in 2017 and 2018, it's not going to be the same process with someone who's going to be here in 2019 or 2020. It's always different. Every year, believe me, things they fresh. So don't listen to your brother. We don't come here 1990. He go contact you. So when I've been come like this, I do. And brother, no. When you been come and now, it's not the same. It always changes. Every country you go to changes. Like I said in my previous video, it's always very essential to do your research. Do not just take my word for it. If you haven't seen my previous video though, I would put the link to that video in the description box below. This video is like a continuation. These things I researched. Most of these informations are things that have been there. There might have been certain kind of modification between when they posted all this information now and in the future when you are going to embark on your journey. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, the second country on my list will be Canada. Now, we all know that Canada was here by now, like the Igbo people would say it. The reason why I said that is because Canada is currently taking and or sponsoring skilled workers. So it's open to people if you have the skills. As much as they're taking people, I would say the safest way to go to any country, if you do not currently have a higher education degree, which is bachelor's, master's, or PhD, enrolling into their school system. Because that will give you like a big upper hand, even compared to any other person. When you enter through school, the kind of preferences when they give you, they're very high. If you have the skills, they value it because they feel like, oh, you don't get experience. We need people like you come to the country. Because you know how it is, Canada, the taxation for Canada and US are just almost like the same thing. They tax you. They find people who say go work to help build their economy. Whose side? If they go take you, why not? If not, you go help them, then also help you. Because this one, what Canada they do now, I scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's what I see. I don't see anything wrong with that. Nobody who get money and they pay tax. So go ahead, my brother and my sister. So the postgraduate work visa that Canada gives to students would help you transition into their permanent residence. It's called the PGWPP. In every country, you have to meet a certain kind of requirement before they allow you the opportunity to stay. If you don't meet the requirement, they will not give you. All these ones that everybody trying to convince everybody that you just go, they would give you and making it seem like it's easy. It's not that easy. So you should start your process prepared. As a matter of fact, as Nigerians, when they do say everything as sharply, just do it one kind. No, you cannot do it one kind. No. Every of your documents, everything will make brain. No one mistake go down. Because much as Canada, they kind enough to open their gate, say, oh yeah, Biawano. They are not playing. They know saying this process of Biawano, a lot of people go won't enter, even with Mago style. So first of all, do not ruin it for yourself by trying to use Mago. Use legit. Make sure say your document, all the T's they crossed and the I's they dotted. Do not make any mistake because any attempt of mistake for your document, they go and say, Nadabo, you they do. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that all your document is legit. Most of us in this our country, Nigeria, they no born us for hospital, including myself. So they not born me for hospital. So when I did travel, what I did is something they called affidavit in a court. That affidavit go talk, say, they born you for so village at so time. And you too on your own, write later, say, when they born you, at the time they born you, they no born you for hospital, say, this one, now be your birth certificate and all those kind of stuff. So they understand, say, most of us are villagers. Like, my mother is such a village woman. She no like born for hospital, so I can't blame her for that. Nigerians, we always like to do this football age kind of thing. Make sure that if you're using your football age, that your football age matches with your passport, your affidavit, your birth certificate, everything match. Because then see a different football age for your passport, see original age for your birth certificate, all those things. Jaga, like flaws. My brother, my sister, you have finished yourself. Make sure say everything match. That's one disadvantage of Canada. They know they play. They know they give you second chance when you make any little mistake. So make sure say everything pure. Match everything in your documents. That's all I can tell you. But Canada is taking people severely. Make sure say you meet the requirement. If you don't meet the requirement as a skilled worker, make sure you enter through education. expensive sha. Don't look for politician people school, big school. Just find a small school where you go feel afford, where they accredited. As a matter of fact, when you even graduate, you can apply for the residency. They call it residency or something. I don't know what they call it. I'm not in Canada, but I know that they give you something after you graduate, which is almost like the permanent resident kind of thing. You have to stay in that country for up to 3 years. I believe go they eligible for that permanent resident where they want to give you. Canada has a straightforward pathway to permanent resident. If you go there and mess it up for yourself, you will not have it. It will not be the fault of your village people or anybody. It will be your fault. Before you start your process, even if you have like an agency doing it for you, follow them bumper to bumper. In fact, help them in the process. They say if you want something done nicely or properly, do it yourself. So as much as you're not doing it yourself because you're not very aware, but this is not your future. So follow them as much as you can. Suggest to them and say, if you don't mind, I would like to join you in this process. Is there anything I can do to help the process? Nicely. So that way you can be part of it. Don't just go there and give somebody money and go and relax. Because if you go for any interview process for either the work visa or permanent resident or whatever, and you don't sound like they just shove you out because they find people will be say go add up for their system. They don't want liabilities. So don't present yourself like a liability or else go get that. So the third country will be Australia. As much as a lot of us fear Australia, they don't really like going to Australia. I don't blame you. Australia, I say, not the end of the world. The United States far, but Australia is farther. Australia also allow people the opportunity to stay back. They do not kick you out, but it's also very tough. Before you enter into the country, they scrutinize you. Australia take skilled workers, just like Canada, and it also allows their students to stay back. But then again, Australia is big on people coming to their country to study. Once you go to Australia to study, as long as the university is accredited, then you would be able to stay back there and work and even become permanent resident. Australia has a straightforward pathway to permanent resident through a point system. The prerequisites of post-study stream visa would be the fact that you have to graduate from an Australian university. You have to have like bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree. And some of the point system that Australia uses to assess you in that process would be your age, ability to speak English properly, maybe spoken and written English, occupation in demand. So I'm guessing if there are certain courses you do that is like a popular demand kind of thing, I think you would also have an edge, which actually means some courses will be more favorable than other courses. I'm not saying that if you do a course that is a shitty course like that, you're not going to be chosen. You'll be chosen. Just because you don't meet one thing, no means they're not going to give you. I'm not going to say I'm 100% accurate on most of the things I would say here, but I'm just giving you like an idea. That's what I would say. They also check the length of the time you have stayed in Australia. I believe so. Sponsorship. If you have an employer or somebody who can sponsor you to stay in, it would not be a problem. If it's a sister, a brother, a job, or any of those things applying for you. Maybe there are other ways also because they say they have several visas for international students. So you have to do your research and know the category where you fall. Find out the different visa options they have and go towards the one that matches your own criteria. For every country that I have listed in this video, remember that in every country you go to, you have to study really hard and make good grades. Just because say you won't use school, enter the place. No means say if you just go there, you no go there redo. Because they ball up and down. I see they fail your kata. Now so that they look you like say you be loser where they no need for their country. So don't make yourself appear like a liability to any country. When you excel in your field of study, they always feel like saying, this person has potential and this kind of people I need for this country. If you know they pass away, it's a problem. Don't give them the impression, say you enter there just because say you want to enter their country, use education. Because you see this in what they do. They know. But the thing they say it's just a pathway that they give you opportunity to come. Because waiting, like I said, it's a rub my back, I rub your back kind of thing. So no give them that impression like say I just enter here because of this purpose. Make sure say enter. Excel for what you do. In everything they do, go in with your A game. If you fail, if they fail too much, they no go give you. Even if you don't get the brain to make A and B, follow people who get brain for A and B. People who sabi. So that way they can push you towards right direction. Anybody will be baller. Stay away from those kind of people. Because the truth is you meet a lot of ballers along your way. Ballers already get them. They go they flex. They forget say you, now one barely. You still have a long way to go. They don't help you achieve your aim. They help you ball, and at the end of the day, if you no pass, you no go stay. Then wait, you find yourself back to square one. Your baller friends go there because of waiting. They don't find their way a long time ago. So always keep that in mind. So the fourth country on my list will be New Zealand. I know that this place is really far, but if the main aim or maybe your goal is to just move from point A to point B, then do your research and see if that place is good enough for you. Remember, not be every country go enter just because you want pillar for Nigeria. Most countries are not a place where you can survive. Think about it in that aspect. But then New Zealand, as of November 2018, modified their system a little bit in regards to international students. So now students can get the postgraduate visa, just apply for it, and again you have to meet the requirements. And the good thing about New Zealand is that you can actually graduate and apply for these things without having to be tied to an employer. You don't require sponsorship. Nobody needs to sponsor you to be able to stay back in the country and work. Even if an employer files for you, which I hope when you go there you can succeed on your own and do it for yourself, you're not tied to the employer. You can just go there and do your thing on your own. How cool is that? So the fifth country on my list will be Ireland. They would give you the postgraduate visa. These people also have like a little bit of similarity with the United States. You can only work for 20 hours as an international student. When it's holiday, you can work up to 40 hours. The graduate scheme allows non-EU students to work in the country up to 12 months. That's not a very long time, but I think that is also a place where if you go, there might be a way out. Just like United States, there are some gray areas, but then again, you can have an employer file for you. It's not like you just come there and you must stay. They don't give you like automatic stay when you come into the country. You have to go through certain process. The reason why I'm a little bit skeptical is because I always see them like the UK neighbor. I don't know 100%. I didn't see anywhere that say they kick people out, but at the same time, if you're under the European Union, there are certain kind of benefits you get there. So I would say do your research properly and make sure that it actually suits what you're looking for. I would leave you to read that up on your own. And then the last but not the least would be Germany. Give people the opportunity to stay back in the country and after study. But the only reason why I'm not going to root for Germany 100% is just because I don't think that you'll be able to excel professionally in your field of study if it's like engineering or all those bougie courses that most people study. If you study in the country to be an engineer, engineering is a professional course, for instance. If you graduate, I don't know that there's any company that is going to hire you if you do not speak the language 100%. Nigerians know they carry last. If you can do it, then go for it. Germany is also very good. I didn't go deep into Germany because I really don't know too much about it. I just know that they need to pursue people. I believe when you go to countries that speak English language, the transitioning process is easier and smoother for you. But it doesn't necessarily matter. You can also excel in non-English speaking countries. There are also numerous countries out there that don't kick people out. I would make a video once in a while like this about travel abroad, study abroad, and work abroad, life abroad, basically, so you don't miss out. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope this was well received, and I hope this video was helpful. I don't know all the answers, but I believe this is a start for something. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time as always. I'll see you when I see you in my next one. Bye now.